I bought a small spearmint plant in the spring, and it's grown into this luscious looking plant, and I'm going to show you how to make beet salad using spearmint. With the mint from my garden, I'm going to make this roasted beet salad. I guess you could call it a salad. It's cold with mint and lime. It has a nice light dressing, and you pretty much roast the beets and forget about them. So let's get started and I'll show you how to make it. In order to roast the beets, I'm setting the oven at 420 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's going to preheat while I prepare the beets. For this dish, I'm going to do 3 red beets and 3 golden beets. I've already scrubbed each beet with a vegetable scrubbing brush under running water, and now for each one, I'm going to slice off the root end and slice off this end. And I'll do that with all 6 of them. If you're going to be using 2 different colors of beets, then you're going to need 2 different foil packets to roast them in. If you keep them all in one foil packet, the colors will mix and you'll have the golden beets taking on the red, and you don't want that. So I have my golden over here, and what I'm going to do is take some olive oil and a brush and just lightly brush them on all sides, so on the skin that remains and on the ends with the olive oil. And I'll show you real quick. I'll just do this one, and then you can see I might, because these are a little bigger than the red ones, I might need another piece of foil. So let me see if I do. Maybe not. So the thing is, you want to close it all up in the foil. So I'm probably okay. And then I'm going to do the same with these. Rub oil on them and then close up the foil packet. So my 2 foil packets fit into this square pan. You can put it on a baking sheet or whatever you want, whatever fits. And I'm going to put them in the oven once it preheats. And it's going to bake for between an hour and an hour and a half. So the test is that once they're done, you can poke it with a fork, and it's easily pierced with a fork. The thing is, I have different sizes of beets. I was going to say if they're all on the small side like my red beets, I'd only do it for an hour. 1 or 2 of the beets that are golden are a little bigger. So I think I'm going to cook them for an hour and 15, and then I'll test it with a fork. It's now in the oven, and I'm going to set the timer for an hour and 75 minutes. There we go. The hour and 15 minutes is up, so I've already opened these up so that you can see how I want to test them. So I'm just piercing them with a fork just to make sure, and the red beet is really tender. And I want to make sure you can see this. I've got the largest beet over here, and this gold one is very tender too. So these are done, and now I'm going to let them cool, and I'm actually cooking these a day ahead. So they need to cool before they can be peeled and sliced. For the mint, the recipe calls for 1/4 cup of leaves, and I probably pulled off more than I needed. I've already washed these off and dried them in a paper towel. And what I'm going to do is cut the leaves and then trim them. And actually I just want slices, so they're smaller than, I'm thinking of basil leaves when I roll them up and just cut them like this, which is easy. Because you just want these ribbon type things, or you could just put them together and go like this. It's up to you. Of course you don't want that little stem. So it just depends on how you like them. I kind of like how they look when I do make the effort to roll them up. You can pile a few together. I roll them on the short side, or I guess that's the long side, and then trim them like this. And that's what I'll do to create a whole bunch, and we'll put that on to the salad last. In a large bowl where I'm going to end up tossing the beets, I'm going to make the dressing. So I'm going to have 2 tablespoons of lime juice, and 2 tablespoons of olive oil, a pinch of salt. There's just a pinch in there, if I can make sure it comes out of the bowl. Then I have a half a teaspoon of ground cumin. Not a big fan of cumin, but I'll use it. And I forgot the whisk. And then the last thing is honey, and it calls for not quite a tablespoon, so like 3/4 of a tablespoon. So I'll just use the tablespoon here and almost fill it. And I had just measured the oil in this same tablespoon, so the honey should come out pretty nicely. And it did. And then I'll just whisk it. I'm using a small whisk, but I could have used a large one. And now the dressing is ready for the beets. I'm ready to peel the cooled beets now, but they said, you know, you can peel them by hand, but the skin should peel off easily, which they kind of do, but they kind of don't. So you could also use a knife, because otherwise you could be here a really long time. You could be here a long time trying to peel them. So, you know, I'm not sure that they peel that nicely. And you want them to look nice because you're going to end up slicing these. So it's a lot easier to peel them after roasting, that's for sure. So I'm going to take the peels off of all 6, and then, you know, in this manner with the knife, and then come back to slice them. All the beets are peeled, so now I'm ready to slice them. And this beet is obviously really big, so for salad I think it's a little big, so I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm just going to cut it in slices that are the kind of slices you've seen in a beet salad before, of that size. Dog's barking in the background. Now, of course, the red beets, they were a little harder to peel because it was harder to see the peel once these are roasted. On the golden beets, it was really easy to see the peel and to tell where the flesh started. Okay, and some of these are kind of big. So I'm going to continue slicing all of these and add them to the bowl that already has the dressing. Alright, I'm finally ready to add the beets. They suggest that if you're doing beets of 2 colors, that you toss them separately and then arrange them on a plate. So I'm actually going to toss the golden beets first. I guess I could have also, because we're not going to eat all of this right now, I could have put the dressing half in one bowl and half in another bowl. So I'll actually plate some of this up. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the rest of these beets away off camera. So here's my plate of golden. Now I have the red beets in here, and I am so tired of touching red beets. I have to wash my hands every time after. Alright, so I'm tossing those, and I'll plate a few of those up and store the rest, and then we'll get on to the last piece, which is the mint. Now that it's done, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of the mint on. You can also put a little more salt on this if you like it a little more salty. That's up to you. Just a little bit. So put on as much mint as you like. So this is my roasted beet dish, or I should say roasted beet salad with mint and lime, and it's a great way to use mint from your garden.